course, you have a choice, a vast choice of universities. There are about 25 to 30 universities here today. 25 to 30 British universities of 120 something. So you need to make a choice. Universities are all over the UK. There's a choice of city universities, campus universities, universities by the seaside, rural universities. You have a whole choice. You've got to choose the programme that you want to study that's best for you, and also the kind of university. What experience do you want from your university? So, for example, let's say you want to live in a big city. The big city that you're all thinking of right now, I imagine, is London. Yeah. We have other big cities. Just happens that London is our capital. We have Edinburgh, beautiful city in Scotland. Manchester, sort of in the north of England, it's my hometown. I have a Manchester accent, so if you can understand me, you're doing very well. We've got Birmingham as well, which is in the Midlands. It's the second biggest city. We have Cardiff, which is the capital of Wales. And then, of course, we have several universities in London as well, UCL being one of them. Campus universities. Now, campus, city, campus, it's a big decision for you to make. You may choose London because you want to live in this capital environment. You live in a vast city. This city is huge. You may want to carry on having that kind of life. Obviously, you probably know a lot about London. You know all about probably the sights of London. You probably learnt about London in your very first English class, about Big Ben and the Wheel and the bridges and the castle and the palaces. But campus universities also offer you a wonderful experience. Campus universities, for example, Glasgow in Scotland, Leeds, north of England. Lampeter is a small campus university in Wales. Kent in the southeast of England. And of course, I have to mention Warwick. So what advantage does a campus university like Warwick give you? Everything is together. You will have your lessons on campus, your social life on campus. You will live on campus. You will be part of a big community. It doesn't matter where you choose to go, whether it's Scotland, Northern Ireland, England, Wales. If you're on a campus, you will automatically be welcomed into a community. And believe me, your parents will appreciate you living on a campus as well. We have restaurants, shops, cafes, nightclubs, pubs. Everything that you want is on a campus. So think campus, university, city, university. It's your choice. It's the experience that you want. Okay? Seaside universities. Well, as it says, it's by the sea, so anywhere on the coast. We've got several seaside universities. Beautiful English coastline, Welsh coastline, Scottish coastline. I feel I have to mention Aberystwyth in Wales, because Aberystwyth are following me in this presentation. They're going to be talking about studying in Wales with Glamorgan. I also wanted to mention Aberystwyth University because I'm a graduate from there as well. It's a beautiful campus by the sea. This here is the accommodation on the seafront. So think about this. You've got city, campus, seaside, rural. You may want to go and live in the countryside. What experience do you want? Now, one of the things about studying English at a university, there is a minimum entry requirement. There'll be very, very few universities who will accept beginners. It's become a little stricter in the last year because of the British Border Agency, the UK Border Agency. Their requirements for you to get a visa to study at a university has changed. For this reason, we usually expect you to be of a certain standard of English before you join a university. And it's better for you, so no beginners. You probably need to be looking at minimum 4.0 IELTS, but better 5.0 IELTS. before you start, or something along those lines. Maybe high pre-intermediate or low intermediate that you need to be. How long do you need to study for? Well, if you're planning to do a degree, the length of the course you need depends on how good your English is. You cannot expect to go from a 5.0 IELTS to a 6.5 in a 4-week program. It's impossible, unless you are a genius. And if you are a genius, then you don't need to go to university. So it depends. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to do a master's in economics. You need to get maybe a 6.5 for most universities. Some will accept a 6.0, some will accept a 7. Let's say you have a 5.0 IELTS at the moment. My recommendation would be you need to be looking at a minimum of 6 months English language program, intensive English language program. I don't mean learning from the BBC News. I mean you need to be going and studying English a lot, practicing a lot. Okay? That's just to give you an idea. Obviously, everybody has different learning styles. Everybody learns at a different pace. You know yourself better than most people. Your mum thinks she knows you better than you, but she doesn't. You know yourself better than most people. Okay, so take that into consideration. Now, because I've mentioned IELTS a few times and TOEFL exams as well, has anybody sat an IELTS exam? Has anybody done one? We have one here. Yeah? Nobody else? Horrible, isn't it? IELTS is not a nice exam. It's quite a difficult exam. You could think that you have wonderful English, and I'm sure you do. But don't expect to do well in your IELTS exam if you don't practice. A lot of the IELTS exam is technique. So book onto your IELTS program and get a little bit of practice. There's plenty of materials available. A lot of it is free online as well. If you can afford it, fantastic, do a course. But there's plenty of study you can do on your own to practice. Okay? So when you're looking at choosing a university to study your degree program, also think about what grade of English they require as well. Not just your high school or your university qualification. Also think about the English, because you need to plan that. You need to work backwards and plan. Okay? So, just to summarise, universities, for me, the main advantage is that you will be living on a campus, you will be with students, like-minded people who are either studying English with you or are on a programme with you. You will get a much better idea of whether studying your master's degree or committing to a 3-year PhD programme, whether this is the right thing for you to do. Because it isn't for everybody. So that is the main advantage. Living as a student on a campus in a city centre with like-minded people is the main advantage. And remember, find out what grade of English you need for the course that you're choosing and work backwards to find out how much English you need to study before you start the programme. Okay? Any questions? No grammar questions, please. No? Well, I'm on the stand close to the main entrance, so if anybody has any specific questions about studying English, learning English at a university, remember I used to be an English language teacher at a university as well, so I can offer you maybe a little bit of advice on which programme would be best for you, depending on what you want to do in the future. So do please come and say hello later on this afternoon. Okay? Thank you for listening.